There's no city quite like New York City.
No.
And for better or for worse, and through all of the notorious sixth-floor walk-ups and the unrequited love that's found in all the wrong dive bars, well, there's much... Have you been to any? I don't go there. But there are many pitfalls in New York City, despite the love affair.
Besides the love affair, and lifelong New Yorker, writer, and cartoonist Ali Solomon is sharing her collection of the endless and entertaining quirks of living right here in the Big Apple. It's all in her new book, I Love-ish, New York City, Tales of City Light. Welcome, lady.
Yes.
How are you?
Hello.
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
We were saying we love a good tome about the city that we love and hate, and sometimes we love to hate, and sometimes we hate to love, but here we are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think you really spell it out in this book, right?
You, what was the inspiration? Yes, you're a lifelong New Yorker, but I think sometimes when you're so attached to something, it's difficult to write about it. What was that experience like for you?
Well, I guess the big change that happened was the pandemic. So here we were living in New York, and all the things that we loved about New York for so long no longer existed.
Right.
So the bars shut down, the restaurants shut down, all the things that, you know, made the city what it was.
Right.
And it kind of forced us to look outside the box and find new things to love-ish. New York City.
But the cool thing about, and you're seeing it right here, you're also the illustrator besides the writer, and I've seen some of you've been in the New Yorker quite often with your illustrations. What was one of your favorite topics that you covered in here?
In the book?
For you personally?
As a longtime Queens resident, I loved writing about all the little nuances of Queens, because I feel like it doesn't always get its due.
That's true.
It is very true. Yeah. Queens is the most
diverse
diverse borough. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's the most diverse borough. So what are your favorite places in Queens?
The favorite places in Queens depends upon how old I was when I was going to them.
True.
Spoken like a true New Yorker.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's honest.
You know, I have, you know, my favorite wine bar where they know my name and my order when I walk in. And,
like a Cheers bar.
But as a mom, you know, there's certain parks, like I took my kids rollerblading around the Unisphere in Flushing Meadow Park.
Right near our ballpark.
Yeah, great location.
So, you know, different aspects of the city appeal to me in different parts of my life.
So you said there's a newcomer's bucket list that if you're coming to New York City to live, the things you should do. Give us an example of some of those.
To be fair, the bucket list is maybe not necessarily something people should do.
That's what I thought.
I'd say it's more of a suggestion. Right. So I tried to take things that people would normally hear on a bucket list and
have some fun.
Have some fun.
Right.
Have some New Yorkish fun.
Like when you go to the observation deck at the Empire State Building, you're not going to get proposed to. Just ask someone for the time.
That's not happening up there?
That's right.
I like one of them you said, though, which, well, it talks about urinating into something. What was that all about?
I have never done such a thing. How dare I suggest that?
Going to Times Square on New Year's Eve.
Oh, in a Gatorade bottle.
In a Gatorade bottle in front of 80,000 strangers. That's a good idea, I think, for people
I want to say it might be something everyone does once and then thinks better of it.
Yeah. What are some of the other things that you say? Because I think folks, even if you've only been here for the first time, you're told, oh my God, Times Square. But Times Square does have its charm if you look in all the right places. And I wonder, are there other places like that you're like, it's been overdone? I know you mentioned the Empire State Building, but other places that you find in every travel book, go here, here. Are there secret things that we need to know about them that you highlight for us?
I mean, I definitely try to highlight the experiences that every New Yorker has. It's funny how many New Yorkers try to avoid Times Square and avoid the Empire State Building, but it's not till you have someone come to visit you, and then you take them and you're like, oh, the Statue of Liberty is really pretty from the Staten Island Ferry. You know,
That's right. That's right.
Or like wearing a Boston Red Sox jersey to Yankee Stadium.
Yankee game.
You have a death
You
wish.
suggested people. I don't know.
Don't do that.
I heard you put it somewhere in the book.
Right.
But there's a Brooklyn road test that you talk about.
What is this?
Explain that to us a little bit.
I guess it was just, I guess Brooklyn has a certain feel and a certain vibe, and I was trying to think of a unique way of capturing all of the nuances of Brooklyn, or what people perceive to be Brooklyn. Right. And so I framed it in the form of a road test, because as anyone has ever driven through Brooklyn knows that it's maybe scarier than riding the cyclone at Coney Island.
Some spots, yes.
That's right. Well, the thing about Brooklyn is you have like downtown Brooklyn, right? Near, I'm talking about Atlantic Avenue, right by the bridge.
Hub,
But then if you go to Dyker Heights or Bay Ridge, it's like you're in the suburbs.
It's so family-oriented.
Yeah.
You know, we know a lot of people who end up there as their final
You
destination.
have Williamsburg and Carroll Gardens, all those different neighborhoods that are unique and have their own little culture within. So, so there's an optical illusion of the infinite walk-up of most apartments. Explain what that, people who aren't New Yorkers may not understand what that means.
Please.
I feel like only in New York can you justify spending thousands and thousands of dollars a month to live on the 6th floor of something you have to climb every day.
Yeah.
Right.
What it does, I think, is help save on groceries because you're not carrying that stuff up there. So.
When I was at graduate school, I lived on a 5th floor walk up, and that was my workout.
That's a good-
Take the groceries
There you
out.
go.
Good
Take the
exercise,
groceries
that's
up.
for sure.
And I had a mini fridge and
There you
paid
go.
way too much, and I could put like an apple in the fridge.
Everything went into the rent anyway. Let's be
But we love New York,
Yes.
and we love you for
Ali,
coming on
thanks
our
so much.
show. The book is
Been a pleasure.
called I Love-ish
Ish.
New York City, Tales of City Life, available wherever books are sold. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
Thanks,
for having
Ali.
me.
All right. Still love-ish New Yorkish.
Yes.
Ish.
Ish. If you have a positively ish story,
Positively
yes,
ish.
email us at nyliving@pix11.com.